Hi friends, host Eric here, host Talking with Famous People. It's packed. And I'd like to talk this video about how to use NI in typing. So, a couple of observations about NI. And my first one is going to be a demonstration of an NI concept. It's insightful. It's not necessarily super original, but it coalesces down the topic into a singular thing that works well. So the statement I'm going to make is talking about yourself as somebody who has good ideas is not the same thing as displaying a good idea. So I was watching Boom Shikha earlier, and she talked about being somebody who has a bunch of really good, insightful, original ideas. But you'll notice that in that video, she didn't actually demonstrate the process of
any good ideas.
Right. So the point would be that NI expresses different ways in different places. So an SI DOM like Kimberly, and probably this is true of SI in the second slot as well, is not going to feel any particular need to be perceived as clever, creative, innovative, intuitive. They're comfortable enough being SI users, and they see the sort of turning yourself into a character aspect of NI to be kind of missing the point, I guess. Now, if you've got NI in the first or second slot, if you're paired with FE, then you're not likely to say something like that, like I've got really good ideas, because it doesn't play well. If it's TE, you're not likely to be too invested into the character aspect of yourself, not as much as you would be with the FE one. So you're also not necessarily likely to toot your own horn and see that as basically not effective at anything. So what we're left with is the types that are most likely to identify and cling to a type are those with NI in third or fourth slot. Now, if NI is on the back side, then that means you're an SI user. But if NI is on the front side but not dominant, it means you have kind of a weaker understanding of the truth. So your ESTPs, ESFPs, ISFPs, and ISTPs are all going to be prone to this character assumption thing. If you're talking about a type that's curious about typology, not very intuitive, and determined to be a certain type, then there's a decent chance you're talking about one of the ones with NI lower in the stack. Of course, you could also be talking about an INFP or an ENFP, presumably, but they're more likely to be difficult to settle on a type and less likely to be determined to be a type. So when we look at NI, when we look for the NI in a person when we're typing them, some things that I look for are
big boobs.
Number one, is in fact the person coalescing down to the singular and away from the multiple. Number two, is the person actually coming up with good insights and producing them and providing me things that go, oh, that's insightful, that's smart, or are they just saying they do that? And then third, to the extent that they're really identifying as a member of a type and buying that whole, like, this is my character and I am an example of this character thing, and they're really pushing that, I'm a whatever and this is how whatever acts, well, that's indicative of third or fourth slot NI as well, I think, because it misses the whole point of cognitive functions and misplays the truth, so to speak, into its more clumsy forms. Your ones with NI higher up in the stack are more deft in dealing with the truth in that way, and so they're going to respond to things a little bit differently, I guess. So I'm not going to get too extroverted intuition on this. I'm going to try to keep it a single idea NI package that's both a demonstration of an intuitive who's comfortable using both forms of intuition, although I'm obviously much more comfortable with extroverted intuition. But I can recognize and utilize NI when I find it appropriate. And in this circumstance, making a video about NI, beginning with the singular concept of the distinction between talking about yourself as somebody who has a good idea and being somebody who has a good idea, is in fact itself an example of an NI idea executed. So again, no, the idea is not super original or anything, but it clarifies a distinction that's necessary to utilize when making typing decisions and such. I just have those thoughts, and I thought I'd make this video, so hopefully you enjoyed it, and it's a short one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to eat plenty of
Cheese.
cheese.